What's going on, everybody? It's Stock Picks by Tim back again, and I want to talk about 3D Sphere, or any ANY. This ran up quite massively today, and no, it wasn't about a merger. It was actually about a planned purchase of a ton of miners, and let's get into it. And I'll leave you all the link below as always so you can look over it yourself, but I'm just going to go over the main points here. So they are purchasing 60,000 next gen new miner Bitcoin miners, and we're going to check those out in a second. But they're going to be operating at 440 terahash, or TH, for a total capacity of 26.4 exahash, or EH. Now also, this doesn't include the 6 EH of the 60,000 Antminer S19J Pros. These are the same ones I believe that CleanSpark has. That doesn't have to do with this. These are a total different type of miner, and this is a whole nother deal. So adding this up, you're looking at 32 exahash. The shipments will start a lot later in the year, and I'll get into that in a second too. But first off, let's get into the details of what this is going to cost. Okay, you're talking about $400 million of Sphere 3D capital stock. I think that's kind of a big deal because you're talking about a $190 million market cap. You mean to tell me that you're about to dilute how many millions of dollars? Are you kidding me? I don't know. I don't see what I don't get why this ran up. I'm not gonna lie. I don't get the hype on this. It's ridiculous. Like, I mean, yeah, this is great. I think that if you're patient on this and you're not in this yet, I would wait. I wouldn't buy it on a huge run up like this. I just don't think it's the time. Now, if you want to just dollar cost average, that's a whole nother thing. But I definitely wouldn't, put a big starter position out if you don't have one yet on Sphere 3D. They are pending on their merger with Griffin, and that's also going to dilute a bit more. So we're talking about $400 million of stock, and also the dilution we're going to have with Griffin Digital when we merge. I don't know. I mean, this is definitely a risky stock, okay? But they're also paying 29 million in cash. That's okay, big deal. A Sphere 3D option also to utilize up to 1.1 billion dollars in financing. So we're talking about debt to cover the rest of the cost. You're talking about a total cost of 1.7 billion, and that's that 26.4 exahash. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. So honestly, I mean, in my opinion, I think this is just a bit of an overreaction, and honestly, I think there was a bit of a squeeze there. It is a Friday after all, and we just had a massive, massive move, and this was totally unexpected, okay? This was totally unexpected, and when you look into the details, it's really not all that great. I mean, it's the same thing with Amazon, in my opinion. You saw Amazon up huge on the EPS, but it's mostly due to their investment on Rivian, and we all know that's at a much different price than when that quarter ended. Okay, so that's what you got to consider. But anyways, getting back to Sphere 3D. And look at this article goes on to say that NM440 was introduced to the market for the first time today. This was literally just introduced to the market, and they're also gonna, this is how their deal's gonna go. So they're gonna receive 12 pre-production models, these NM440s, for final evaluation. So they're gonna test these out, and the testing should be finished by summer, by June 1. Okay, so we've got quite a while to wait, and they're just gonna test these out and see if the claims are supported, because this company says that they have the best miners out there. And these are the miners here. They're called the Numiner, and these look ridiculous. It almost looks like it's immersion cooled. I'm not sure, but it almost looks like that's some kind of, something for liquid to pass through to keep the machine cooled, which is something similar to what CleanSpark is doing, actually, and that's kind of interesting. But they do say that they have the highest and most efficient hash rate, 3 times the recently announced leading miner that's yet to be delivered. It's saying it's 3 times better than miners that haven't even been delivered yet. 4 times better than currently available market leading miners like the S19, for example. And 8 times the average miner on the market. And here's a chart here. I'll leave this up for you guys for a second if you want to screenshot it or something. But they boast 4.5 times greater daily returns, generating 4 times more revenue than a leading miner. So you're talking about a S19J. Here's the NM440, and you can see on the chart that it's way up there, giving about a 4 times greater return, 4 times more revenue, okay? 38% lower power cost, so you're saving energy, making more revenue. And it basically says you're mining about 44% more Bitcoin. So that's pretty crazy, and this is publicly available data from Bitmain, MicroBT, and Canaan. But yeah, and here's another chart here. It just shows that it blows all these other ones out of the water. This is just crazy. It's definitely interesting to see this with any or 3D Sphere. It is very interesting. They're jumping right on these new miners. And hopping over to Griffin's Twitter here, it says the Griffin team is excited at the prospect of working with Numiner as our pending merger partner 3D Sphere, or Sphere 3D, I should say, has announced an agreement to purchase up to 26 exahash of next-gen mining capacity. And remember, they also have another 6 that they already ordered. So this is definitely big news, although I think shareholders will be hurt a bit, in my personal opinion. You know, let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong, but just seeing this much dilution is a bit concerning. But of course, I am still riding with my shares, and I'm just going to continue to hold. Now, keep in mind, I wouldn't recommend putting a huge amount on this. Don't bet the farm on this or anything like that. I keep this to under, 2% of my portfolio, probably even less than that. All of these risky smaller stocks you don't want to go too crazy on. You definitely want your foot in the door at least, and to have some exposure to these kinds of companies, although the risk is high. Okay, so it does depend on your risk tolerance, but me personally, I'm okay with taking this risk, getting into companies like Griffin Digital, getting into companies that aren't profitable yet. Okay, and we did have a fantastic day and closed 31% up on the day. Although, looking at the technicals, we do appear bearish. The MACD is curling down, RSI is pointing downwards, although in the neutral range, and the candles are under the 8, 13, and 21 day EMA. But let me know in the comments below, guys, what you think about 3D Sphere. But that's basically it for the day. Just want to let you know that this had a ridiculously crazy move. Keep an eye on Griffin's Twitter, and keep your eyes out for any news on this. Sphere 3D is catching on that this Bitcoin craze isn't going to stop. And it's also very nice that we're seeing Bitcoin having a nice little rally. It definitely helped ANY that Bitcoin was just absolutely rallying today. We went from about 37,000 all the way to 41, very close to 41 before petering off here, and we're at about 40,500, still keeping our momentum going. This is looking great. And I'm sure this definitely helped our nice move upwards. But that's basically it for you. Thanks so much for watching. Consider hitting the like and subscribe. I put out videos every day. And until next time, take it easy.